Thank you for joining us this evening. We've got Sami Tamimi joining us. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Sami, I did take a look at your work, and I understand you've had some really great cookbooks out there, and there's a new one out. Is it out currently or out on the way?
It's out, and it's also out in Australia as well. I mean, some countries, because of the current situation, don't have the book, but luckily Australia is one of the lucky places that have the book.
Very good. So if you just want to tell the listener and viewer a little bit about yourself.
I am a co-author and co-owner of the Ottolenghi chain with Yota Ottolenghi. We've been friends for over 20 years now. We are based in London. A lot of you guys know probably Ottolenghi, the brand. And the books that I co-authored with Yota Ottolenghi, the first one was the Ottolenghi, the cookbook, and the second one was Jerusalem, the cookbook, which is kind of international phenomenon book. And then now I'm out with Palestine. Palestine is co-author with Tara Wigley. Tara Wigley been working also with Yota for the last 10 years. And she is kind of a friend, but also a colleague, and a lot of the writing as well go, in collaboration with her.
Yes. So where were you born?
I was born in Jerusalem.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm Palestinian. Just to kind of clarify that, because people, when you say Jerusalem, they immediately think whether it's Jewish or Muslim or Christian.
So your food, Pakistani food. Palestinian. Sorry. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the food that people can cook while they're in isolation. And I know the food is absolutely amazing. You use a whole lot of amazing spices and herbs, which is, not only tasty, but good for our health. And we all want to keep healthy in this time as well. So, what are some dishes that people can cook?
I mean, we cover the Middle East, where luckily we have this culture where they eat quite a lot of vegetables and grains and pulses and things like the bulgur, which is the cracked wheat, mjada. It's a good example of what can people at the moment kind of cook, which is really easy. It doesn't require a lot of ingredients, and it relies on spicing, which is the cumin and the cinnamon and the allspice, and lots of fried onion, which is they're quite cheap and they're easily kind of sourced. Something like this, or I have another recipe which is it's almost like a rice risotto, but instead of cooking it with a stock and a cream, it's cooked in a yogurt sauce. So it's almost like a rice pudding, but savory, and it's topped with these beautiful roasted cauliflower and finished with fried garlic and coriander seeds. It's absolutely delicious. It's so comforting, and people kind of at the beginning like, I'm not sure about the sound of it, but once they try it, it's so delicious. Also, another thing that I personally do a lot at home, it's bulgur cooked with a bit of onion and tomatoes, and you can just have it like this with a little bit of yogurt on the side, or sometimes I saute a bit of zucchinis or roasted eggplants. I mean, you can top it with lots of other, like mushrooms, or if you want to have a bit of meat on kind of stir fried on it, it's really delicious. And just kind of, you can spice it up with a little bit of Aleppo chili, or just dried chili, or fresh chilies if you have them as well.
So do you have like a vegetable patch?
I don't, but I am lucky because I live in London and we have kind of local sourced vegetables, and I get a box every week and I use whatever I have in it. And normally it have all the seasonal things, like at the moment it's all kind of melon and watermelon and all the stone fruits starting to get out there, and lots of greens, leek, and all these things that you can just do so many things with them.
Mm. So you're getting the food.
I got a couple of sweet potato. I got a couple of sweet potatoes, and I was thinking to do kind of sweet potato gnocchi with a little bit of sage and butter.
Stunning. When are you doing that?
Yeah. I'm gonna do it tonight.
Oh, really? Lovely. Do you make extra for the next night?
I at the moment I cook quite a lot, so we always have leftovers, which is nice. I mean, kind of saves you from. I mean, I have leftovers for breakfast. It's my favorite thing to eat. So we always have a meal for lunch, and then something to last us for dinner. If I do something for dinner, then it lasts us for breakfast or lunch the next day.
Yes.
And batch cooking is kind of wonderful because you can just kind of cook for 6 people, but you can freeze it. You can kind of keep it for 3 days in the fridge. It's good.
Mm. So you're getting your food delivered, or are you going out and buying it, during this isolation period?
Most of it comes by these guys that just leave it outside, and they'll just ring a bell and run off. And I normally leave it outside here in the hall for 24 hours before I take it in, unless it's something that gets spoiled, and I put it in the fridge.
Yeah. So how are things over in the UK?
The UK is not. I mean, the rate of the death rate is kind of not good. I mean, it doesn't sound really good, but they're talking about maybe opening some of the establishments, like takeaway places and kind of larger restaurant. But it's all kind of speculation. So every day things are changing.
That's right.
They allow us to go out, which is good. You can go for an exercise, or if you need to go to a grocery or a doctor. So they don't really restrict. I mean, we're not totally locked out.
Yes, that's right. And we need our fresh air and exercise. It's good. We can think clearer when we move the body and oxygenate our blood and exercise.
Exactly. And I have 2 lovely dogs as well, so I have to walk them. I can't just kind of flog them as well.
That's right. Yeah, I was having that conversation with someone else just the other day, and we were saying the dogs definitely get us out. Even if we don't want to go out, we have to. If you've got a dog, it's really a great thing to walk every day. They need it, and it's good for us.
Exactly. And it's not ideal for them because they normally don't have us as much, so they need a break as well.
Oh, but aren't they happy with us around?
Yeah. This is Reg. I'll show you.
Yeah. So. Oh, cutie.
He's 2 years old, and his sister is around somewhere.
How old?
2 years now.
2. And the sister?
They're both the same age.
Same age. Oh, same litter. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, brother, sister. I've done a lot of these interviews today, so excuse me. I'm so sorry. I've already done 2 little muck-ups. It's okay. All good. It's all good. So what are some things, like, have you been baking bread as well? I was just wondering about that.
I've been doing a lot of I've been doing a lot of pita bread, which is Palestinian kind of stable bread, and showing people. I've been doing also a lot of cookery kind of cook along, and just kind of post them so people kind of feel connected, and me not getting too bored, and also for me to promote the book. It's a good kind of way to do it. I like to do flatbread. I'm not a big kind of loaf sourdough person. I rather just go and buy it. Luckily there's a bakery here not far, and they just do bread and they just sell it to people, and I can get that. I do quite a lot of cooking every day and post about them. Yeah.
So does your family cook as well, or is it just yourself that's
cooking? No, they're all very foodie, and they all love food and talk about food all the time, and they'll sit and have breakfast and talk about lunch, or breakfast for the next day, and it goes on, and they all kind of inherited that passion for cooking and eating. I am the only kind of professional chef in the family. but you know, if we meet sometime, we start to cook together, which is really lovely to do.
When did your love for cooking start? How old were you?
I started officially when I was 17, quite early. I didn't think cooking would be my career, but things kind of turned differently. I remember my father kind of saying to me, "Why are you taking this job? It's not cooking is for women. It's not for men." And but you know, since then, things changed. We're talking about the 70s now, and yeah, I've been cooking since then. So it's almost like 38 years now.
Mm. And what are some of the sort of staple dishes you grew up on, the traditional dishes?
We do quite a lot of, not so much meat really. We use quite a bit of like a mincemeat and kind of make a big kind of celebration with it. They quite a lot of stuffed vegetables.
Yeah.
Things like like falafel and kibbeh and stuffed pita bread with some minced meat, and they kind of fry it in butter. It's quite nice. It's called arayes. Palestinian kind of typical dishes is like musakhan, which is a roasted chicken, crispy chicken with lots of red onion, lots of sumac, lots of olive oil, and a kind of homemade bread called taboon.
Taboon.
Yeah.
Flat bread?
It's a flat bread. It's got kind of gaps in it because the taboon is a kind of this clay oven that they use outdoors and have pebbles. So when you put the dough on the pebbles, it kind of got kind of uneven, and it's really really delicious. Knafe, everybody knows knafe. It's a kind of filo with cheese and drenched with orange blossom syrup. It's really really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, I was looking at some Palestinian recipes, and one of them is dolma. And I mean, myself being Greek, it's really very similar to dolma. The stuff.
Yeah. I mean, the Greek and Cyprus and Turkish, all this kind of regions, they have quite a lot of dishes that they share and they love. I mean, you do quite a lot of we have the hummus and the masalata and
you did masalata as well.
Yeah, all the skewers meat.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Dolmatas definitely.
Yeah, and baklava as well, the dessert.
Yeah, of course, and also you do all the little breaks that we do as well. I mean, you guys love okra as well as us. Lots of kind of stews of green beans and so we do that as well.
Lovely. Yeah. So how can people get your book? How can they contact you?
I am available all the time on social media. They can go to my account on Instagram. It's Sami Tamimi. And if they have any questions, I'm always happy to answer. I don't neglect people. Palestine is available everywhere. If you can get it online, contact your local bookshop, and they will be very happy to order it for you. It is available everywhere in Australia at the moment. And if they want any tips or they have any questions about anything related to Palestinian cooking, I'm here. And also they can watch my videos. I kind of do quite a lot of cooking from Palestine. And if they want to kind of get along or they don't have really kind of idea how to do things, they can just basically follow the videos.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing, isn't it? Social media for this sort of thing, and especially during this time, that's how we connect. And like you said, posting videos, keeping in contact with your followers, with viewers.
Exactly, and it's wonderful to see also people's reaction, and also a lot of people out there have the time to cook, so they even if they don't have their book, they follow just what I post, and they just do it from their kind of perspective, which is really, really lovely to see.
So just before we finish off this book, also you talk about there's lots of stories in there too. It's not only food, but it's talking about different stories regarding food.
Yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful read as well. Uh, the focus of the book is, the place, which is Palestine, the Palestinian, the land, their kind of connection, and also the food. The stories are different people from kind of different places in Palestine, from Jerusalem to all kind of Bethlehem and so on. Uh, we feature, I mean, a lady called Islam, which she's in a refugee camp, and she's got a disabled son, and she wanted to help him. There's no schools for disabled people there, and so she started
So it looks like we've just lost Sami. It's frozen video a little bit. Just
some
wait.
guy that can.
Sorry, Sami. We just lost you there for about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Sorry. If you could just backtrack a few sentences.
Okay. We met with this lady called Islam. She lives in a refugee camp, and she's got a disabled son, and she wanted to put him in a school, but there were no schools around in the camp. So she started cooking and teaching people how to cook, and with the community and another women, they actually built a school for disabled kids in the camp. And she got so successful that she started to kind of help more and more the community, which is a really kind of wonderful thing to see.
Yeah, beautiful.
Guy Kamal, he's a Tahini guy. He's a very kind of smart young guy that been cooking in restaurants all his life, and he realized that he wanted to change, and he started learning how to do tahini, sesame paste, and it's a really nice. I mean, he taught himself everything from the technique to how to do the best tahini in the country, and it's a wonderful kind of inspiring things to see and also taste.
So how did you come in? Sorry?
Some of the people we kind of knew before, but we didn't know deeply the stories. And some through people, and did you hear about this person or this lady that does cheese and sell it to housewives? So you kind of, it's a small country, so you just go around, and we didn't have such a kind of fixer thing, but we had people to help us kind of drive around and meet these people.
Yeah, people want to hear stories. They want to hear about the human stories and what goes on in people's lives and how it's all related to food and their stories, their journey.
Especially with a book like Palestine, which is it's a kind of it's a kind of place where there's got a lot of trouble, and you hear a lot of kind of negative and bad press about it, and we wanted to bring the human kind of side of things and how modern Palestinian kind of deal with whatever kind of life kind of throws at them, and also their connection with with each other, and their cooking together, and the identity, and the place, and farming, everything.
Yes. And it shows the inner strength of people too, doesn't it? And the resilience of people.
Yeah, we are quite tough people. Palestinians are kind of a good laugh, we say, and they're very passionate about a lot of things. And one of them is really cooking, and they're really smart people as well. They don't want to just kind of sit and cry about what happened. They want to kind of move on and do things to make it better for themselves and others.
Beautiful. Any last words to our listener?
I mean, no, just buy the book, read the stories, please cook the dishes. Some of them will sound a bit more exotic than others. If you are familiar with the Ottolenghi cookbooks, you already have the pantry and all the ingredients. So there aren't any kind of special ingredients that you need to kind of start off cooking. And yeah, stay safe and happy cooking.
Sami, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Beautiful.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.